Yeah, that's how I seen this, and I was like, dude, that's actually like really cool. I like what you're doing with this stuff.
No, like I said, I really like what you're doing. I think it's just, it's different. Like, it's not like a lot of these creators do live videos like podcasts.
Right.
So boring and bland, and like they'll be talking and like, oh, hold on, let me read the comments. Oh, hey, what's up, Billy? Oh, Billy, you doing good? Like, dude, I don't care about Billy. Just do your podcast.
Right.
do your guest, and let's.
Right. I'm with you on that one. And that's what, that's what I like about it is it's recorded, it's all edited. I take out anything that kind of interrupts the flow or the progression of the conversation. Any of the dead space, I get rid of all that stuff. Cardo, they've been super good to me. They just sent me a bunch of new headsets and stuff, so we could do like multi-guest kind of things. I've got a vision of how I want it to go, and it's progressing there slowly. I think the thing will be pretty big. So once that happens, I'm interested to see kind of what direction things take, and how things change or if they change. There's all kinds of stuff I want to do to up production value and things like that. Like I'd like to eventually have a team, you know what I mean, that comes with me, and
right.
We set them up outside with nice cameras, and they film us going through the woods and all that kind of stuff. So,
I mean, obviously that's the goal. I've listened to a few of his like podcasts or interviews or whatever. He seems super down to earth.
Super cool guy. Acted like he'd known me forever. And that's one thing that like always bothers me when I meet people that I've looked up to is I'm always afraid like, are they going to be like, what I mean? So, all right, you can just drive anywhere.
All right, have you drove any of the trails?
I have not. Well, we did a little bit with Larry, but I haven't personally drove them. So, but you can take this wherever. It's a sponsored unit, so.
Yes, you heard that right. This beautiful Can-Am HD10 Defender Max Limited is sponsored by the West Virginia Way. I'll tell you a little bit about the West Virginia Way. The WestVirginiaWay.com offers UTV rentals and lodging in the heart of West Virginia's premier trail systems, including Indian Ridge, Pinnacle Creek, Pocahontas, and Warrior systems. They provide well-maintained accommodations and rental machines for outdoor enthusiasts, ensuring a seamless adventure experience.
That's awesome. Where'd you and Larry go? This way? That way?
This way. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Talkin Side by Side. I am super excited. I'm actually still in Kentucky at Gregory Lake for Off-Road Mayhem this weekend. Upchurch playing tomorrow. This place is getting packed out already. I'm super excited to have another guest with me here today, Mr. John Weule himself. How are you, John?
I'm doing good, man. You?
I'm doing well. This is the first time I've met John. I've definitely followed John for quite a while and watched a lot of his builds and a lot of the things that he is doing and has done. So, to finally meet him in person and to, have him on the show and to be able to sit back and do this is pretty awesome. So thanks for joining me, John.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your background. How did you get into building these crazy side-by-sides?
I guess the long version, if you want that, I can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever version you want to give me.
My neighbor had a side-by-side, and I was like always welding on the side. I worked for a weld shop, and I guess to back that up a little bit more, I worked at Bigfoot, the monster truck. I seen a guy welding, and like he had these really nice welds, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I looked up to him, and I wanted to, I guess, grow up to be like a fabricator, welder, like build cages, like monster truck cages, stuff like that. Long story short, obviously I didn't do that. But what I did do is I got a welding job, and I started doing like side work in the evenings to make a little extra cash, because everybody likes a little extra cash. A buddy of mine had a style Can-Am Maverick, and asked me to build bumpers for him. So I was like, I can do that. Well, I didn't even have a tubing bender, so I bought a tubing bender. Once I bought the tubing bender, I went and bought some tube. I bought like a little bit extra tube thinking like this will be for my mess ups because, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. So I built this dude bumpers, and my neighbor had 2 razors, and he's seen it, and he's like, dude, I want to do the same thing. Like, this is back in 2014, built those, and I just kind of started posting them on Facebook, and I drove one of my neighbor's side-by-sides one day, and I ended up being like, dude, I got to have one of these things. Drove one on a Friday. Monday, I was signing papers on one. So then, like I said, I started posting on Facebook. Long story short, my daughter, she was going to be due in November. I was working at a company. They gave us a big pay raise. Long story short, my check bounced. I got mad, left, went home. I had a buddy's side-by-side in my shop, and I was like, the only thing I know to do right now to make some money before my daughter's born is build this cage and get paid.
Right.
And I applied at like all the local big companies that, you know, were paying good back then.
Right.
Applied there, went, posted that cage, got paid. My daughter was born. After that, like people just started kind of slowly messaging me, and then like after that I'm like, well, I mean, I'm staying pretty busy doing this. The one company I applied for was like, hey, we got that opening, like we're ready if you want to do that. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I think I can make this work. And I just kept posting, and I just kind of get more reputable, and I don't know. I've like created this snowball that's just like falling down a mountain right now that just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
I guess
that's awesome though, and it's crazy that your background was monster trucks, because my background was actually from Monster Jam myself. So, yeah, so I toured with Monster Jam from like 2011 to 2014. And actually the reason that I stopped was because our youngest son, we found out that he had been diagnosed with a super rare genetic disorder called Weule syndrome. And, you know, it's a neurodegenerative thing that's fatal. And so I called my show director, and I was like, hey, Joe, like, you know, this is what's going on. I'm not going to be there. I was supposed to leave that you know, like in like 2 days when we found out. I was supposed to leave 2 days later. I said, I'm not going to be there. And he was like, no problem. You know, we'll get you covered this week, and we'll see you next weekend, and wherever in the world we were supposed to go. I said, no, I don't think you quite understand. Like, you know, they told me we got maybe 2 years left. Like, I can't spend any time at all away from home.
this looks like it might get a little
sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the thing around there? I say we just turn around.
Okay.
But I don't want to tear your stuff up.
But that's how I, you know, that was kind of my stint with Monster Jam. It was fun, man. They took us all over. I went to Stockholm.
That's the one way to tour the world is, I mean, you're basically a traveling circus, you know. You're like a musician or entertainer or however you want to phrase it. Like you're touring the world doing really cool stuff. Obviously, I'm sure you found out that, like when I was little, I seen all these guys and I'm like, dude, these guys they're so rich and doing all this stuff, and you're like, these guys really don't make that much money, you know?
No.
And like I feel like Feld and Bigfoot both have the mindset like it's a privilege to work for us.
Yes,
like,
they do.
We'll fire you and hire you as soon as you quit. We don't care.
Yep. Feld is, man, Feld it's the largest entertainment company in the world. It's a great company, but man, you're just a statistic there. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about their employees necessarily, or it's all about that, that bottom line and then that dollar. And that's honestly why I like doing what I do in this industry so much more, is because, man, like, the people I work for here, like, I do digital marketing. That's what I do. So, and the companies that I do it for, like,
Gosh dang.
yeah, it's bad, ain't it?
Yeah.
They like actually really appreciate me, and they appreciate the work that I do. There's a ton of people over there.
I know. But if we turn around, you don't have to wash that much stuff.
All right, yeah, which I'm totally okay with too.
If we drive through there, then you gotta spend a lot more time washing stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So tell me a little bit about your relationship with Bryce and how you guys became friends.
The only thing that I can think of that started it was he made a post on Facebook. He was selling some little cup holder things for razors. And I was kind of having some trouble with my CNC guy. And I was sitting there and I was like, well, if this guy can make those, then he has a CNC table. I messaged him and I was like, hey man, I got some parts I need cut out. It looks like you have a plasma table. Would you guys be willing to do that? He's like, yeah, bring me all the parts. So I brought him up there, and Bryce wasn't really anybody yet as far as like Whiskey Biz or anything.
Right.
I have TikTok downloaded yet. It was like, I want to say it was 2019. TikTok was like just popular for 8 months, and I was like, I ain't getting that. And then I went up there and we met, and he knew like of me. And long story short, I basically went ahead and gave him all these parts to have cut out for me. Not to bash the Bryce, but it was like, hey man, how's those parts coming? Oh, I'm working on them. Well, when I went up there, I thought like I was pulling into a mom and pop shop.
Right.
His family business is huge, like crazy huge. So my little order of parts, they didn't give a about.
Right.
Long story short, I got a CNC guy. He ended up, not doing it obviously. And he messaged me one day and wanted some tubing rolled. He didn't have a tubing roller. He wanted some tubing rolled for the purple and black razor that he was in the TV show. I don't know, maybe $10 worth of tubing.
Right.
And he's like, what do I owe you for that? I was like, dude, just keep it. I gave him the hat and I said, just don't worry about it. He goes home and makes like a shout out video. Back then I got like 100 likes or 100 followers on TikTok. So I was just like, damn. Is this guy? So he messaged me and he's like, hey, I want a cage for Sweet and Low. And I was like, dude, this guy is capable of building his own cage. Like, he's built them before, but he wants me to do it. Told me like I'm cleaner than he is on building cages. But I'm like, I'm just going to give him this thing. Like, I'm going to bet on this guy. Like, this guy is going to be my sales guy. Like, at the time, like, I wasn't big. I didn't have a pot to piss in, so I literally gambled on this dude. Yeah. And he posted the video of Sweet and Low, and it got like 8 million views on it. I think it was his first viral video on TikTok. Ever since then, like, we've been really good buddies. He's got my name tattooed on him, and I got his name tattooed on me. Like,
that's awesome.
I don't know. We just got a really good friendship, business relationship, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, that's good, man.
He does all my doors for me whenever I need them.
He's good at that too, man.
He's really been like a mentor, I guess you'd call it. Like,
right.
He's quite a bit older than me.
Emotional, damn it!
And he's had way more businesses than I've had. That I think this is a good idea for like your merch or just stuff like that. Stuff that I don't know anything about. Like, I'm a welder.
Right. If you had the chance to build a machine for anybody, who would you choose and why?
Honestly, I'd probably build a machine for, like, Andy Frisella. I don't know if you know who that is or not, but I really look up to him. Like, he got me out of a really dark place, like, with his podcast, and super, like, come from nothing to conquering the world story, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a bucket list, I guess you'd say.
Right. That's awesome. That is not an answer I was expecting.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. Normally when I ask people like who they want to collaborate with, it's always like, you know, Travis Pastrana or Whistling Diesel or somebody like that. So it's kind of nice and refreshing to hear a response that's not someone like directly related to the off-road world.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Pastrana is like always going to be the guy that's like the stunt dude, and like I said, I think he's a humble dude. I don't know. Andy Frisella seems like conquer the world type of dude.
Right. Your content sometimes can be a little graphic, a little brash.
Yeah.
A little abrasive. Do you find that most people like that versus not? Or do you ever get any backlash for that kind of stuff?
I get quite a bit of backlash, yeah. But I don't know. The way I look at it is a bad comment's still a comment.
Right.
If they comment, they comment.
Dude, so I did a video for a company called 3-Star UTV. They're a company that I do a lot of marketing for. They support and sponsor everything I do. It's a great company. They make windshields and enclosures, skid plates, tinted roofs, and lower doors, things like that. Last year I went up and set up at events like this, and I had them make me a stand, and we put a windshield blank on it, and I bring an 8-pound sledgehammer and let people hit it all weekend to try to break it, because it's Lexan, it's polycarbonate.
You're not going to break it.
It'll break by the third day after it's sat in the heat all day and it's been bashed on all weekend. But usually Sunday, and the way it always breaks is it just cracks at the bottom right, where the bolt hole is that we had to drill into the windshield blank. That video, last time I checked, which was a while ago, was at like 7.5 million views. And one of the reasons is because of everybody complaining about the stand. Like, because I mean, it's portable. I take it from, place to place. So it's not anchored to the ground, but it's solid steel tubing, and it's, like anything else that you would have hit with it with an 8-pound sledgehammer that was mounted to it is definitely breaking.
Right.
So, people just complaining about the stand and complaining about the stand.
And that made it go viral.
Yes. So, people are like, well, when are you going to change the stand? And I'm like, I'm never changing it, ever. Why would I? Like, if all you're going to do is complain about it and drive up my views, I'm not changing it.
So me and Bryce collabed on a video, and he dropped a razor from 45 feet in the air, and with one of my cages on it.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to comment, like, why would you do that? Why don't you just give it to me? Couldn't you not please just give it to me or something like that? And I'm like, just keep commenting, and then, some of the other comments are, just like, you gotta be some inbred people to do that. And I'm like, bro, keep driving it up. Keep commenting.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not the type of person that scrolls through any social media and just likes to comment mean, horrible stuff on anybody's posts just because I'm not that guy. And I'm not miserable. You know what I mean? I'm pretty happy and satisfied in my life.
That's my thing is how does your job or your life suck that much that you had to take the time out of your day to comment, you're an idiot or you're stupid or
Yeah, I don't understand that. And
just scroll past.
And why other, grown men are worried about how other grown men spend their money or their time, that baffles me, because I don't give a what anybody does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting anyone else and as long as you're not hurting yourself, by all means, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. Do your thing.
I'm dealing with it now. I not me personally, but a company that I do marketing for. They're like the largest CF Moto dealer and parts distributor in the world. And they're out of a little bitty town in Mississippi. People are just ripping them up online for literally no reason. And you know what it always is? Everyone that has something bad or negative to say, not a single one of those people have ever placed an order. So how do you know how do you know that their customer service sucks or that their parts are overpriced? You've never even ordered anything.
Yeah. No, and that's usually how it is. Like, usually anybody that's trying to bash me has never spent a dime with me.
Right. Right. Well, and when I always tell people, like, if you have a problem with me, call me or text me. If you don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Right.
So
no, I agree.
You actually just revealed a new build today when you got here. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a Pro XP, a PCF ball joint Elite, a Weule cage, obviously, and it's for Mud Shots. He's a video creator on Facebook, TikTok, all YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. On 50s, JTX wheels. It's got all the goods on it.
Yeah, Ray is awesome. And that buggy's, is that the biggest one you've built yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had 50s in my shop before, but he said he wanted to go big, so we went big.
That thing was massive.
Yes.
Massive.
I don't know, I think it turned out pretty good.
When you get done building these machines, does it break your heart a little bit when you see them get trashed, when they take them off road and start trashing them?
No, because I want my brand to, like, not be like, oh, he just builds show bikes. Like, I want people to, like, see my and be like, oh, he can actually, like, I want people to be able to go out and, like, beat on it. And obviously, if you rub trees, you're going to scratch plastic. But I don't know. I like people to use stuff and be able to say, hey, we're not just trailer queens. Like, these things get beat, you know?
So reliability is one thing that you definitely take into consideration when building these massive machines.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I use PCF on just about all of my builds. It's some of the toughest stuff that I've encountered.
Jeff's a cool guy too.
Yeah, very, very down to earth. All of his guys, super, super friendly. They really take good care of Weule Welding and Fab.
Why the hate for Can-Am?
They just suck to work on, honestly. The frames are kind of chintzy. I can have a Razor, like any Razor, Pro R, Turbo S. I can have the front differential out in less than 30 minutes. A Can-Am, you're talking 4 hours.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. Just everything about it's like they wanted to see how hard they could make it.
Right.
Like they want you to bring it to the dealership.
I have an X3, so dude, the riveted on skid plate, like that has got to be, I'm sorry, Can-Am, I love you guys, but that's got to be the dumbest thing ever in the world to put on one of these machines.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, they're all junk. Razor, Kawasaki, whatever, they're all junk.
Right.
Especially from the factory, but I think all of them have their place, I guess you'd say. Like, if you want to build power, like that X3 all day.
Right.
If you want to go trail riding and ride in the mountains, I'd buy a Kawasaki KRX.
Yeah.
But for like what we do, Polaris makes a really good model for if you want to trail ride, mud ride, do bounding courses, rock climb, hill kill, whatever. Like it's an all around good buggy, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I rode with Zach from the Dirt Dudes a couple of weeks ago in his Pro R, and Jake's got a Turbo R, and that's the first time I've ever really ridden in one of those machines that's been, kind of beefed up and upgraded a little bit. It was really nice, man. They're very, very nice machines for sure.
Yeah, they ride extremely nice. As far as like the Maverick R's go, I can't really say much about that.
Right.
But X3s, I can tell you about X3s.
Well, the thing that The thing that I really didn't like about my X3 was the amount of money you have to put into it after you buy it, just to make sure that you don't break something every single time you take it out.
Like I said, man, they're all junk. You got to do that to all of them.
Right.
I'm trying to think of something comparable to it, but you're never done building them. You know, like
Right.
you're always, that company just came out with new light bars, or, oh, those tires, new tires. They just came out with new tires. It never ends.
Yeah, it's always something. What's been your favorite build so far? There's been 15 Weule builds, right?
Yep. Man, I really like the one I just built for Mud Shots. My personal build will always have a place in my heart. But I always like to tell everybody that I haven't built my favorite thing yet. I don't know. I really like the cage on Paper Chasing, Bryce's blue and chrome one, and raspberry. The Jet Full Throttle one I think is sick.
I was at OPE when you guys revealed that. That was super cool.
I think you should put him on here too. Jet.
Oh, yeah?
I think you should.
Okay.
I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good for him and you.
Okay. Where is he from? Where's he out of? Do you know?
Iowa. He's actually here this weekend.
Yeah, I saw his buggy. So I assumed he was here somewhere. Yeah, maybe we can get that worked out. I wanted to get Ray too. Honestly, while I was here.
I think he'd be down.
Well, I think it would be good to, talk about
his buggy.
Well, not only that, but a lot of the people that I have on are content creators. So it would be nice to get him someone that actually creates content for those content creators. It'd be nice to kind of, pick his brain a little bit. And with, me doing marketing and video the way I do, I've always thought he was super interesting anyway.
Yeah, he's very, very, very talented.
Yes, he's extremely talented. There's not a lot of other people that I see do video work and photo work that I'm like, yeah, man, that guy's really good. And
this guy's different.
Yes. Yeah. And Raymond is, man, he's just, he shoots a lot of cool angles, and his edits are, they're not overly done. They're very tasteful, and he just puts together a lot of cool stuff. And I know he's had to have seen a lot of cool stuff, so I would love to pick his brain a little bit. Hopefully we can do that before I gotta go. I don't know if we'll have time or not, but it's a nice little play area down here, isn't it?
There's a little way around though, I think. I hope. If you see that it's maybe not. We'll go up that hill.
So when you're not building cages and not at the park for the weekend, what are some other things you like to do?
Honestly, my hobby is my career. I got 2 kids that I try to, be the best that I can for. So if I'm not being a dad, I'm trying to build the next coolest thing, I just really enjoy my work, and I feel like I take a lot of pride in it and try to stay relevant, because if I'm not relevant, I feel like I failed,
Right. So if someone wants to get a Weule built machine from you, what's the process that they need to go through to do that?
So basically I have a schedule. I'm booked out until September, I think. And basically I just charge a $3,000 deposit for, basically covers my end of painted plastics and powder coat. That way I'm not out a ton of money whenever, I don't want to front somebody's side-by-side build, like sometimes, like right now I'm building 4 of them, so I don't want to sit there and be fronting 4 $20,000 side-by-side builds,
Right.
So that's pretty much what I do, and then, once it gets closer to that time, the customers reaches out, or I reach out and say, hey, drop off this weekend, are you still good? Yeah, I'm good. And then usually they have a color picked out. Ray dropped his off and didn't have a color picked out, so that's always interesting, because then you're trying to pick a color out for them.
Right.
That, and then if they don't like it, then it's on you.
Right.
If they don't like it and you made the call, then, well, you picked it out. You get to redo it now.
Right.
Which, luckily, I've never had that happen, but at the same time, a scary thought.
From the time you get the machine until the time it's complete, On average, about how long does it take? If you're doing a full build.
I made a YouTube video for Rays that I'm going to edit in Kentucky, but basically from the time that I got my hands on that razor, I'll get nasty. Yeah, that's nasty over there. I have 3 weeks from start to finish, and I'd probably have 2 weeks in it, but due to the fact of, like, ship my portals, they shipped them to a different company that looked like Weule, which I didn't even know was possible.
Right.
The wheels, the shipping company refused to come to my address because it was residential, so that was kind of an ordeal. I feel like I'm always fighting, like, that little stuff, trying to... And that's deep over there, too, isn't it? But, like, if I didn't have to fight all that stuff, like, it'd probably take me 2 weeks, like, as long as... But, like I said, it's a lot of the stars aligning and stuff like that.
You can just run over that stuff if you want.
Because I also, like, I have a paint guy. I don't paint all the stuff myself. Also have a powder coater guy, so sometimes I'm running on their schedule, you know.
What's a machine that you haven't built yet that you'd like to?
I'm actually, like, starting on them whenever I get back. I have 2 Maverick R's in my shop that I got to go and get going on them. I had some drama with the seats. Customer wants to put PRP seats in there, and long story short, they were kind of a wait time, and the PRP seats have so much foam in them. I didn't want to build a cage, and then with the 4 inches of extra foam padding, they not fit, you know.
Right. What seats did he want?
The PRP Alphas, maybe.
Okay. Because 3-star, I know we stock some PRP stuff like the XCR seats and a few things like that. So
I'm gonna grab low.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is they just came out with mounts or something for the Maverick R, and I'm pretty sure they just said that. I'm pretty sure they're just X3 mounts.
Right. They probably are.
I think they just need a little wait time on them.
I'd like to see your expertise on a Segway. Like one of the new villains, like the super villains when they come out.
Bryce is supposed to be getting one of those. Obviously, I was going to play with it. And I've honestly, besides OPE, I've never seen one.
Really?
No, I've never seen one in person. I
had an event that I put on in Mississippi last weekend. That Segway came, and they brought their big show trailer and brought like 4 demo units. They got 2 of them. Actually, so like 8 guys from Segway in China, like the top guys, came. Of all the shows they picked to come to, I don't know why they chose to come to mine, because mine was definitely the most hillbilly show that they've probably ever been to in their life. Dude, they got those things stuck so bad. I'll show you some pictures once we get stopped. And like they were stuck in a part of the park that I didn't even know existed, and I've been putting on events at this park for a minute. It was so funny because the head guys of Segway, they were like, "No more Chinese driver, no more Chinese driver." They were so mad, but they're crazy capable machines, man. They're rated at like they claim to be 110 horsepower, but they are definitely not. Yeah, they're definitely not. But as far as like comfort and ride, dude, they ride fantastic. Just straight stock.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, and it's almost like when you see one, take a really good look at it. It looks to me like it's almost built on an old style X3 chassis. It's got the same exact like trailing arm, radius rod setup. It's got, the same front A-arm, same steering. All of that's exactly the same. But they ride fantastically. The first time I ever rode in one was at Windrock. I was shocked by how well it actually rode.
Oh boy, what am I getting ourselves into?
Look at that. Professional.
And I don't really know how to get back to camp either, buddy.
I have Onyx. I'm sure we can figure it out. It doesn't look like we're far.
I don't think this place is very big. I just made a bunch of turns that probably shouldn't have.
I enjoy this like platform and doing this whole interview, podcast style thing actually in the machines and on the trail because
Like you're driving in a car with your friend, like just on a road trip, I guess.
yeah.
Like I think you're way more comfortable than just sitting there talking at a table or a desk.
With a mic in front of your face, you got lights blaring on you. Like this
Camera.
The reason I like it so much is because, you're so focused on driving and where we're going and whatnot that when I ask questions, the other person, their answers flow so easily and naturally because there's no thought, there's no time to think really.
Yeah, you're just you're not sitting there like, am I smiling right or am I looking right? Am I grinning good or what? It just flows.
Right. So if we go back on the road that we were just on, I think that's what leads us back to the main ordeal.
It's actually turned pretty.
Yeah. This thing is crazy capable, honestly. Like I was kind of shocked initially the first time I took it out on the trail. But yeah, I had to go save those Segway guys. It was really bad.
Who's your next guest you're having on?
There's still a few more I want to get in. My main goal is to try to stay consistent, for at least like 6 months, just every Monday, there's a new episode.
That's the hardest part about podcasts is just finding the time. And it's not like you're making your own, like you have to
Perhaps around that way, yeah.
When you're doing a podcast, like it has to be a beneficial time for the other person as well. Like that's the shitty thing about making a podcast.
Just out of curiosity, what's the average build from you cost?
They start at $18,000. They just kind of go up from there.
Right.
I don't advertise for just building cages anymore. I build production cages every now and again. Like I'll build 3 or 4 of them and just put on the shelf and like have passive income for my work, I guess you'd say,
Right.
But for the most part, I'm just trying to focus mainly on full custom builds.
There's not really many other people that are doing what you're doing. Not to the extent that you're doing it.
No, definitely not to the extent. And if they are doing it, they're doing a piss poor job advertising it. But
right.
There's honestly a lot of really top fabricators out there that just don't care about Facebook. They don't care about TikTok. They just don't care about social media. But
right.
Me, that's another thing. Like I want to have passive income as well,
Right. Yeah. Social media has really changed the game as far as, being able to, looks like we go left here, being able to reach an audience. And actually that was one of the things Larry and I were talking about is, he said when he first started making music, it used to be like thousands of dollars. Oh, this is right back where we were, isn't it?
How did we get through there?
This says it's the main trail back.
Huh. I guess we're going to risk it.
Well, yeah, like when people were saying that they were making money doing TikTok, I thought they were crazy. Like, so how do they do it? Like, what do they do to make money? Then Facebook started doing it too, and I mean, it's just kind of evolved from there. Like, it's crazy to think that there's some kids out there that are, let's just say, 7 years old that are making more money than me and you.
Yeah, there's a little dude that goes by Action Jackson.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So that's our buddy Mark. That's his son.
Yeah, and he's got a little personality. He was an OB, and you could just, he's not camera shy by any means. Like I said, I think Jet would be a good one to put on here too. Yeah, no problem, man. Like I said, I think it's awesome what you're doing. So when you asked me to do it,
I listen to Bryce and Pages and get on it, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just an idea that, like I said, I had, and I wanted to get to it before anybody else did. Just because I think it's interesting because, you know, we get to learn more about people, not in front of their own camera, in front of their own audience. And, you know, you still get to enjoy some cool off-road scenery and, you know, see some cool stuff. So, and I just wanted to do something different than everybody else was doing. I've never been the guy that likes to do the same thing everyone else is doing. So,
no, for sure. Like I said, it's way better than getting asked to be on a podcast and then it really turns out to be a Facebook Live and you're like,
right.
This Joe Rogan did this in 2011. It was cool then. It's
right.
not cool now.
It's not cool now. All right. Well, for my last question, this is the last question I ask everybody. Well, I forgot Bryce and Paige, but I'm asking everybody else. If your off-road life had a theme song, what would it be?
Dude. I don't know. It'd have to be like some Upchurch or something. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this concert.
Yeah, I want to try to get him on this show at some point. He was close to me in Indiana and at Attica not that long ago, but I wasn't able to
make the deal.
Yeah, I've got his manager's number, but I've got his email. I don't have his number necessarily, and I've messaged him a couple times, but I haven't heard anything back. Upchurch, man, I started following him back when he was like Upchurch the Redneck, and he just did comedy.
All those, yeah,
and I've been a huge Upchurch fan ever since. And so to be able, if I could ever land him on here, that would be, for me, that would be probably like my collab question. That would be the answer to my collab question. If I could collab with anybody, I would definitely want to have Ryan Upchurch on this show here.
He's a good dude. I mean, obviously he goes ham on roasting some people. I think that's just his content. Like,
yeah,
I guess it's no different than like me making fun of some of my customers, like the content that I make, or
right.
Bryce making fun of teenagers. Like, that's his niche, I guess you'd call it, you know?
Dude, that teenager character is so hilarious, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it relates to everybody.
Well, and the awesome thing that he hit is not only did he hit, you know, a much younger generation that may have not ever known who he was, but he captured their parents, too, because their parents...
And their grandparents are like, why does my grandchild act like an idiot?
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talkin Side by Side. John, tell everybody where they can find you.
John Weule on Facebook, Weule Welding and Fab on Facebook, and John Weule on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Weule. So check him out, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. And thank you guys for joining us. Stay tuned for the next one.